Good morning, everyone. This is today's editorial session, and we are discussing today's editorial. And this editorial is all about how the world is being on the table as religion versus fundamentalism. It is related to famous author and writer Salman Rushdie attack in New York. Okay, so let's see what authors is saying. So Iran might not be directly involved in the attack on Rushdie, but it must revoke the fatwa. Okay, let's go on the some little bit detail before starting this thing. What actually happened is Salman Rushdie is it's a kind of bold writer. Okay, so what he did in 1989, he wrote a book, uh, and the title of that book was Satanic Verses. That's a kind of satanic verses. Okay, according to him according to Salman Rushdie, what he did, he just tried to expose, in his own words. I'm not saying that he exposed Islam, but according to him, Islam is a deceitful, ignorant, and sexually deviant religion. He wrote these sort of words in his famous book. This book got lot of popularity, but just for 2 or 3 days. As you know, we are living in that kind of society. When somebody expose something like that, then we start this thing gonna get a lot of popularity. So what eventually happened in 1989, after 10 days of releasement, India was the first nation who particularly banned this book. Okay, I would go into the detail later on, but yeah, let's see the what author is conveying. The Iranian Foreign Ministry's comment that only Salman Rushdie and his supporters were to be blamed for the gruesome knife attack on the author in New York State last week is yet another reiteration of the clerical establishment's well-known regressive position on the Rushdie affair. Okay, according to this paragraph, what actually happened when he releases the book Satanic Verses? Iran was the first country who who mentioned over there a fatwa. Okay, and he completely banned his book too after India, and also his visits to the Islamic countries like Iran, Saudi Arabia. He can't. He is banned from all these sort of things. So eventually, when this guy Salman Rushdie got attacked, all the whole world is just blaming Iran because Iran was the first who put the fatwa. So that's what they are saying. The author is saying in this paragraph that according to Iran Foreign Ministry, we are not responsible. It's just his supporters who buy the books and who promote this individual. They are the responsible of this thing, whatever happening right now. Okay, moving to next paragraph. The 1989 fatwa against Rushdie issued by Iran's then supreme leader Ayatollah Khomeini because he believed the author's satanic verses was blasphemous has already wreaked enough havoc across the world. Yeah. So, like I said it earlier, the same is saying the author too. According to him, the supreme leader Ayatollah Khomeini was the leader at that time in 1989. So he put a fatwa against him. Okay. So why the author is telling why they put the fatwa? Because Salman Rushdie in his book used the blasphemy. Actually, that this book is not like a is not like a something very considering a noble book, but it is a kind of a book where there is a lot of plot and characters and storytelling was there. So there was a particular character, I'm telling you, there was a character called as Mahund was the character there. What Salman Rushdie say, but Salman Rushdie uses the term, uses the way of narrating his story. That particular way is called as blasphemy. When we start defaming someone God, it is called blasphemy. He didn't directly mention any word about Islam, but yeah, everybody, even you and me, can get understand it that with against whom religion he is talking about. So that's what author said in the this paragraph. Let's move to next paragraph. It was a rare instance of a leader of a country issuing an extraterritorial death sentence against an author who was living in another country by invoking his pan-Islamist beliefs and clerical authority. Dozens were killed in riots. When this thing happened, Iran had issued the fatwa. They had also put the death sentence on Salman Rushdie, and even there was a lot of havoc has been created had been those days. Lot of riots happened in the amongst the supporter of Salman Rushdie and those individuals who particularly belong to religion known as Islam. So dozens of people were particularly killed in riots, and it was so, it was something like it never happened that much easily that particular individual who is living in Pakistan and and uh, th- in India, the people from the same religion is putting the fatwa against the death sentence of that individual. It's not that much easy. It's not that much, happened daily basis or something like that. That's what author is saying. Move to next paragraph. Hmm. The book's translators and publishers were attacked. It drove Rushdie underground for years. 33 years later, Rushdie was attacked by a 24-year-old American citizen of Lebanese descent whose social media accounts are reportedly filled with pro-Khomeini and pro-Iran content. Iran has denied any role. It is astonishing that Iran could not even issue a statement condemning the attack and the attacker. Obviously, when the author is saying that when this particular book got released, lot of individual, even the publication house got banned from approximately 20 to 30 countries. It completely got banned, and they are continuously get attacked. So what Salman Rushdie did, he go underground. Even he was in India, but he left India too. There was a ban on his visits in India as well. Okay, so now what happened? 33 years later, Rushdie was in a program, and there was a guy whose name is given here, uh, American citizen was there, okay, and he is a pro-Iranian in thinking. Might be his parents were from Iran, nobody knows, okay. So what he did, he played that role because of whatever reason. We are not going on this. So he stepped the author. Next paragraph. And Iran, obviously, Iran is also denying the role over here because there is a conflict of US and Iran over here. Always. Since from last decade, there is a pure conflict of Iran, USA, and Israel. What Iran wants, particularly, Iran just want to defame Israel because on the Palestine conflict. But Israel and US are on the same boat regard considering the Iran. They never want ki Iran should build nuclear missiles. Okay, next paragraph. Wars, pro-state media in Iran applauded the courageous and duty-conscious man who attacked the apostate and depraved Salman Rushdie in New York. In the past, Iran's government had stayed away from Khomeini's fatwa. On the contrary basis, when, later on, 5 years later, there was a meeting going on in SCO, I think. So when somebody asked Iran individuals, Iran leadership, that what's your point of view about that thing that had happened, the fatwa has been, what's your opinion? So they say that we are not like that. We are such a kind of, like, we work like a democratic way. We have we know ki how to respect the fundamental rights of that individuals. But on the contrary note, when this happened today, when this happened in the today's world, they are just celebrating like a hell. Okay, they are celebrating. There are a lot of posters on the walls and something like that, even in Pakistan too. Next paragraph. In 1998, Kamal Kharaji, foreign minister in the government of reformist president Mohammad Khatami, announced in New York that Iran would not attempt to kill Rushdie, as it was generally interpreted as an informal revocation of the fatwa. The United Kingdom normalized ties with the Islamic Republic, but hardliners tightened their grip on Iran's institutions once Khatami's two terms came to an end in 2005. Actually, when something like this happened against any particular religion, okay, so this is not only about Kamal Kharaji that he get out of the power after 10 years. Okay, it's not about it. It's about the sentiments. People has got a lot of hate about Salman Rushdie. All Islamic people, even from UK, from US, from Iran, from UAE, from Saudi Arabia, all of the Islamic countries along with the Western allies, they are completely against Salman Rushdie. But coming to the point, the author is saying that UK, United Kingdom, try to normalize everything up with Iran or Islamic Republic nations like Iran or Saudi Arabia and UAE. But even after leaving Salman Rushdie's regime, there was a feeling of sentiments against against that particular individual. Okay, moving to next point. In the same year, Ayatollah Khamenei repeated Khomeini's position that Rushdie was an apostate whose killing would be authorized by Islam. In 2019, the Ayatollah's Twitter account was briefly suspended after he said the fatwa was solid and irrevocable. The edict clearly made matters worse for Rushdie, but it did not stop him from writing. He wrote some of his finest fiction and essays during the period, disproving, as Christopher Hitchens put it, Orwell's fine but fallacious dictum that the imagination, like certain wild animals, will not breed in captivity. The author is telling, like, in the same year, what Ayatollah Khamenei did, he repeat the Khomeini's position again. Okay, he said कि the fatwa we have issued against him, it is, it is irreplaceable, solid. It is solid. We are agree on that thing because he is not in the power now. So he just again continue the truthfulness of the fatwa. He is just proving that, yeah, I was right about that thing, and this is a particular solid thing, and you know this should happen against Rushdie. Okay, but Rushdie was, a bold writer, as I said earlier. He didn't stop his working. He write down everything, whatever he wants, and even he got I still remember he got a highest award in the Nobel fictions. Okay, he is one of the greatest writer right now in the whole world. Okay, so the author is just want to say that besides having such a debt regime, besides having such a debt sentence, things like that, every day from different nations, his mobile is texted, his Twitter account got hacked too. But that man is completely bold. Whatever he want to write, he start writing it and he keep writing it. By the way, he is living in US. Next paragraph. In Rushdie continued to live under the Ayatollah's sword, but remained a champion of the freedoms he believed in, something which those who paid for his blood never managed to reconcile with. Iran may not have a direct role in the attack. What Rushdie did is he was just get accused of misusing the freedom of speech. According to Iran, what Iran's authority is saying, Iran's authority from the first day is saying that Rushdie, that we particularly respect the freedom of speech. Everyone should have freedom of speech, but what Rushdie is doing, he is accused of misusing the freedoms of speech, but still, even getting such a high hatedness from his own very people of the same country, he still remain a champion of the freedom of speech. He still believes that he would keep doing his work. Okay, well, by the way, he was underground, but his book was coming in on a very regular basis. So the author is saying that maybe Iran may not have a direct role in the attack, but the sentiments that these hatedness started from, it was first from India, and then from Iran, and then from all the Muslim League nation was there. Moving to next paragraph. But as the fatwa issued by the leader of its revolution has hunted down this harmless man of words for over 3 decades, Iran has the moral responsibility, at least now, when he is recovering from serious wounds, to revoke the fatwa and unequivocally condemn the attack. Obviously, the author is saying that fatwa has been issued in 1989. Now the attack has been carried on. So what Iran is doing, what Iran responsibility is, the Iran responsibility is just normal. Ki they should revoke the fatwa and unequivocally condemn the attack. Every nation gonna do that thing. That's the author is conveying. That Iran should act like now ki we are against this fatwa now. They have to come on the same page of the democracy. Next paragraph. Okay, the editorial has been ended, but yeah, we are now discussing about the tone of editorial. But before that, let me conclude this whole editorial. Actually, what the issue is, what main issue is, I'm just telling you in my own words. The main issue is US versus Iran versus Israel. That's the main issue. That's from where these things are happening now. Okay, when Salman Rushdie has got banned from different nations where he start living in the United States. United States is something is holding a kind of opinion in the whole world as a supreme power right now. It's a supreme military power. I'm not talking about economic power. Okay, US just wants ki US wants ki we have to see the things like democracy should be the foremost topmost priority of everything. So whoever feels like whenever United States feels like that there is something undemocratic happen in any corner of the world, they just jump over there. But the real truth is, US only wants their own national interest. They only show like the way that they are very, very good. They are helping us, but no, they are not helping us. They would exploit us in the very, very next year. Like for recent example, there was the case of Afghanistan as well. So this Salman Rushdie attack was something like the people were saying that it is against the freedom of speech and expression, because nobody can ban any kind of book in this whole universe. If I have wrote some book, I have my freedom of speech and expression. Okay, so but this particular article is should be considered regarding India as well. India was the first nation in 1989 who have banned this book, but as they can't ban this book as an ethical thing of society. But how they ban? They ban through it finance ministry ban of import of book. So that's how we are also in the list of like we are supporting India is supporting the fatwa. So right now the tone is something like US is saying, some diplomats in US is saying that India is also supporting the fatwa. Okay, so if anybody wants to say something about this topic, the tone of editorial.
It was
Is it
informative.
informative?
Okay, yeah, it's informative. Anybody else? Participate,
Also
guys.
might
Anybody else?
also might be criticizing to governments and whatsoever going on. So critical also.
Yeah. The tone of editorial, according to me, is something ki author just want to convey the message. Like ki beside, yeah, he have done something mistakes, but none of the mistake is like that you gonna take somebody to the death or whoop, and being like that on a live stage you are stepping someone so badly. So it's something very bad, and the author is also not directly but indirectly just pinching the things on the democratic countries to like UK, United Kingdom. So that was the tone of the editorial. Okay,
Thank you.
thank you so much, guys.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, if anyone want to ask to him anything related about this topic, so he can tell you any doubt if you have.
Okay, let me add one more point to it. India has put the ban on Salman Rushdie in 1989, but it was in the Vajpayee government in 1999 who had lifted the ban on Salman Rushdie. So the ban is not there right now. But the regional sentiments are so much hated towards the hatedness was at its peak on the Salman Rushdie. And even Pakistan is celebrating the stepness of, and that guy is who attacked the Salman Rushdie. His poster is everywhere on the Pakistan. In every city, in every place, there is the poster of that guy in the Pakistan. Anything else, guys, you wanna ask? You can. Thank you so much, participants.
Listen, thank you so much. This is such a kind and very good information.
It's my honor that you guys have lent your ears for me.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, before cancel this recording, you wanna say something?
Saying me, just repeat.
Okay, so guys, this editorial session will be posted over YouTube. So you can go to the English Learners YouTube channel and there you'll find the editorial session, and we do post each and every session which we conduct here. Even the session Har Ghar Tiranga was also posted there, so you guys can go to the YouTube channel of English Learner and subscribe it and can watch the editorials whenever you feel that it's appropriate time for you. Okay, I will. Thank you so much.